This presentation describes a patient experience project developed by the Psychology Department at the National Rehabilitation Hospital in Dublin. The project was kick-started by a very generous donation from a friend of a patient who sustained a C4 injury in a fall. This friend then commented on the scarcity of psychological supports for patients, family and friends, apart from the individual sessions offered during rehabilitation. And while there are many lovely resources available online and excellent peer support organisations, there were no Irish voices available on our own website. Phase 1 of the project was a collaboration with students of film and animation at our neighbouring College of Art and Design. Apart from learning an awful lot about disability, the final year students developed 11 animations capturing various aspects of living with acquired disability. The next phase involved making short videos with 8 patients describing experiences of coming to terms with sudden disability, as well as a series of brief inputs from members of the psychology and psychiatry team on topics like resilience, coping, autonomy and independence. Together they provide a rich source of peer support and have already proven to be excellent teaching resources for students and community healthcare professionals, and we look forward to seeing the project grow and develop. Here are 4 of the animations of relevance to spinal cord injury: adjusting to rehabilitation, returning to school in a wheelchair, the experience of fatigue, and reluctantly accepting the need for nursing home care. We hope this presentation of 2 animations and 3 video snippets will give you a real flavour of this project. We hope too that it has succeeded in honouring the original desire behind the donation, which was to provide additional psychological resources for patients, carers, families and friends of people with spinal cord injury in Ireland.
When I first came here, I felt very overwhelmed. At times, I felt like I was in my own bubble, that no one else understood. It's hard being away from home. I missed my family, friends. Sometimes I felt very lonely. At the start, I felt uncomfortable, but with time, I learned my way around the hospital and got more used to the way things worked. Slowly, I started talking to other people. I discovered I had a lot in common with them. They understood what it was like. Speaking with others made me realize I wasn't so alone. Yes, some days are harder than others. I have to relearn new ways to do certain things. But I've learned that you just need to take things step by step. I've even surprised myself. Now I've settled, I feel like I can support people who might be in their own bubble too.
In November 2011, my spine collapsed and I ended up in a wheelchair. I left the NRH determined not to go to a nursing home. At that stage, there was nothing you could have said to change my mind. As soon as you go through that door, the obstacles begin to mount. If there's anything in life I like, it's my independence. I don't want to bother my family. They have their own lives, their jobs, families and mortgages. I suppose I had to prove to myself that living alone was doable. But the simplest things were difficult for me. You can end up feeling like a prisoner in your own home. Eventually, with a lot of persuasion, I agreed to try a nursing home in Dublin, close to my family. It It took a big effort, but I decided to make the best of the hand I had been dealt. I have made a quality of life for myself. I would recommend it to anybody like me of my vintage who is living alone and needs support. The beauty about here is that feeling of security. You're safe. I can have great freedom. I can go out and about. And the most important thing, I have help when I need it. I don't fall very often, but when I do, I have someone to lift me.
I would say set yourself small goals, but you have to be patient. Look back every few months and see how far you've come, and then set your goals again. And within a couple of years, you'll look back and you won't believe how far you've come on. And
my advice to somebody with a similar type of diagnosis with a spinal injury is just don't give up. Like life changes, but it's still the same. Really, you can do anything. You can still do anything you want to do. It will be different, and there's ways around it, but you can definitely do everything you want. Yeah. I probably travel more now than I ever have. I'm back driving. I'm back working. I have a brilliant social life. I probably have, I'm not going to say a better life, but I do more now than I ever have before. I have more opportunities, I think. And maybe not more opportunities, I think I just take more. I definitely do more. I guess it just kind of opens your eyes to everything, and you just kind of, any opportunity now, I'm taking it. I'm going on a Tall Ships Challenge now in May. It's it's with Spinal Injuries Ireland, and we're going to be sailing for 6 days from Cork to Southampton the end of May. Yeah, so it's 18 able-bodied, 6 wheelchair users, and we'll be running the ship for 6 days. Yeah, and that's something which I would never have even thought of. Even if somebody asked me to do it beforehand, I would have probably been like, no, it's not for me. But now I'm just doing everything I want to do. Yeah, and it's brilliant. Yeah, it's great. So this is now my bedroom. We actually got the tiles put in as well, so it's really handy for the wheelchair. I think if there's carpet down, it's really hard to get around. So tiles or wooden floor is much better. It's inevitable. There's going to be tough days and hard days, and I definitely have them as well. Everybody does, and I think the main thing is don't just try not to make the tough days last that long. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. At the very start, I thought, oh my God, my life is completely changed. I'm not going to be able to do anything I wanted to do. And now I do everything and more. I've had a really positive recovery so far. So to me, the bad days are few and far between, thank God. When at the very start, I remember my brother came into me and he said he's going to sign me up for the undateables. And I just said, no. I just remember thinking, no, Jen, this is it. You're going to just, I'm going to push myself, and there's no way that I'm going to be an undateable.
I would say to somebody with a similar diagnosis to me, if they were starting out, is to listen to somebody who says, you will be better in a year, you will be better in 2 years. Very hard to see that when you're starting out on the road, but it actually does get better and does get easier. And if you can find somebody to tell you that and listen to them and believe them and hold it out there as something that you can achieve too, it's true. It doesn't look true at the time, but it is true. And if you can believe that, that would be my advice to somebody. Hang on to that. Listen to it, accept it, believe it, and then go for it.